up, everybody? I'm here with my friend Troy here at Lovato School of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Mixed Martial Arts, and we're going to talk a little bit about some realtor safety today and some scenarios that you could potentially, in an unfortunate situation, find yourself in, and see whether I'm actually able to protect myself and whether he can do harm to me. Now, Troy here, my buddy, he's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but you know what? I've been training for 7 years, so maybe I should be able to protect myself as well. So we're going to see how it goes, and hopefully you're never in these situations, but we're going to have some fun doing this. So Troy, are you ready to see if you can attack me and put some harm on me?
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, so here's our first scenario, right? I'm going to be taking him to show him this hypothetical house. And I'm going to display some bad situational awareness. I'm not really going to be paying attention to Troy. We're going to pretend like I'm walking him through a house, and at some point, he's going with intent to do harm, put his hands on me, and we're going to see what happens and whether he can get me to the ground and what happens then. All right, so Troy, let me open the door for you here. Let's go in, look at this beautiful house. We've got this kitchen here, and we've got these wonderful bedrooms over here, and it's a beautiful house, isn't it? That didn't turn out so well. All right, that didn't work out so well for me, right? Bad situational awareness. I wasn't even keeping an eye on him. I had no idea when he was gonna attack me. Didn't go well for me at all. All right, second scenario though, I'm gonna have a little bit better situational awareness. This time, I've heard a lot of people say, well, I never let them get between me and the exit of the house. So I'm gonna let him go in first, and I'm gonna follow behind. And we are gonna see whether that changes the scenario in any way, shape, or form. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and go first. What do you think? It's a beautiful kitchen. It's a really nice house here. What do you think? Sometimes even good situational awareness isn't gonna cut it when he's still able to get close to me and as quickly as he could take me down to the ground. Okay, so again, you see, even good situational awareness, I mean, as quick as he was able to just turn around, grab me, take me to the ground. But what about this scenario now? Now he's got me to the ground. How can I even get away, right? How much can he do to me before I can even get away? So we're gonna start in a scenario where I'm on the ground, he's on top of me, and he's gonna be simulating some strikes on me, and we're gonna see how long it takes me to get out from underneath him and actually get away and stand back up. Am I even gonna be able to do that? Let's find out, because I don't know. All right, Troy. Hope I don't get beat up too bad. Okay, I'm ready. Now listen, I'm a grown man, I'm 190 pounds. Troy, he's not bigger than me, well, maybe stronger than me, but he's not that much bigger or stronger than me. And of course, he's been training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for a long time. But like I said, I've been training for 7 years, and I'm still not able to get away. So if you're thinking, can I get up and get away from somebody who's much larger than me, maybe a lot stronger than me, maybe, that could be really difficult, because I obviously struggled to get away from Troy. So that's something you gotta be thinking about. All right, so the next scenario that I hear a lot of people saying that they feel comfortable being protected is because they use a gun. They carry a gun with them. Now, most of the people I know, when they do that, it's either gonna be in a pocket, hidden under a waistband. It's not just out in the open, and you're certainly not just carrying it around with your gun on them just in case they attack you, right? Or if you're a woman, a lot of people carry it in their purse. So I've got my fanny pack here, and I've got my fake gun in it here, all right? So the scenario we're gonna test here is we're gonna have some distance between us. And when he's ready, he's gonna come at me. And we're gonna see if I can even get this out and point it at him within the amount of time that he can cross 10 to 12 feet, okay? Let's see if we can make that happen. I'm just gonna wait until when he's ready. We'll see if I can get it out and point it at him. Nice. Okay, that wasn't even close. I barely had my hand in there before he could get to me and take me down. And there's this rule that we hear about called the 21-foot rule that they train a lot of law enforcement on. Have you heard of that? Well, the idea is that even with trained police officers with their gun on their hip, somebody can cross about 21 feet before you can even get your gun drawn and pointed at them. So the scenario here, could I get my gun out and point it at him when he's that close to me? Highly unlikely, particularly when maybe I'm not highly trained on it. All right, so my next scenario, now he's gotten me down, but it's okay, I've got my gun on me. Maybe while we're struggling, I can get that out and use it to protect myself. Let's see if that happens or if maybe something worse happens. Not gonna go well. Yep. All right, so he's got me down. Let's see if I can get my gun out and protect myself against him. Not good. Not good. All right, guys. Didn't go well for me that time either, right? That idea that I'm going to be able to, with somebody in an advantageous position, again, maybe bigger and stronger than me, that I'm going to be able to get a gun out and use it. Maybe, but it's certainly not something that I want to rely on. All right, Troy, obviously we were having some fun with this, but I want to ask you, did you feel like it was a challenge to, if you wanted to do harm to somebody, to just put your hands on him and do harm to him? Did it feel like that was going to be difficult or really no big deal?
Pretty easy.
Pretty easy. Pretty easy. What about this scenario where, did you think you would be able to close that distance before I could get a firearm out, or were you kind of thinking?
I wasn't sure. Yeah, but it was pretty easy to cover the distance. Yeah.
So what about that scenario where I'm on the ground and you're, I'm trying to reach for my firearm in here, and I started to actually get it out. What was kind of going through your head at that point?
I'm in such an advantageous position that the likelihood of you being able to draw a firearm is pretty slim. And then if you are able to draw it, the chances of me being able to take it are pretty high. So
yeah. So probably not something that was going to protect me in that scenario.
Probably not.
Well, there you have it. So what's the idea here, right? There's a lot of ways to protect yourself, but relying on only one, particularly one that maybe you aren't well practiced with, right? If you want to carry a gun to protect yourself, that's certainly an option, or pepper spray, or a taser. But are you going to be in a scenario where you can't actually get it out and use it? Perhaps it even gets taken away and used against you, or even where we train, grappling here. Am I going to be able to use that? Or perhaps somebody that is even stronger could still overpower me. So you have to make sure you have a holistic approach here. If you're going to use a firearm, are you actually training with it? Are you still using good situational awareness? And are you still ready in those unfortunate situations if somebody does intend to do harm? So how are you protecting yourself? And if you're relying on only one way to do that, you need to make sure you're really good at using it, but at the same time, you need to understand that it's an entire holistic approach to protecting yourself. Troy, I want to thank you so much for joining me. We sure appreciate it.
It was a pleasure.